Hi, fam. We are back with part two around what changed when we got married. There are two more points we felt we could go into friendship and our first year of marriage. So stay tuned. Hi, guys. We are back.
Hola.
Only because you asked us to come back, and we are here, and we wanted to just share more about what changed the minute we got married. My name is Dinyuko Mokale,
I am Tokoloho Mokale.
and welcome to Journey
Join.
with the Mokale. So thank you so much for the call earlier this week. We thought that we should come back and within this week, before we go over and celebrate Holy Week with our families, that we just come back and just give you more based on the points that we wanted to touch on. And we've selected, I think, 2 points that we want to speak about, and which we could, I think, share more about, and which are very relatable to all of our stories. And thank you and for sharing. We truly appreciate it. So to get into it, we've written 2 points that we want to talk about, and I think the first one is one that I think when we started attending funerals, I think the minute
Weddings.
weddings, yeah, that we would hear that, I think, ideology around what our parents would tell us once you get married in terms of friendship. That don't hang out with people that, or friends that are not married the minute you get married. You know,
You're told to kiss them goodbye, actually.
yeah.
Some
like,
of them both throw it, like keep
you
saying, and then you're
guys.
told, bye, go bye.
How? We'll start with husband. We'll start with our authority here on the subject today from the Mogales, and then I'll probably go into it because honestly, yeah, at this point.
For me, I think, and for us, I think we gotten to realize the truth about it, is that yes and no.
Okay.
You know, you can have very toxic single people that negatively impact your marriage. It's people that probably don't have respect for the institution of marriage.
Yeah.
You know, it's people that don't want to get married, you know, and that make you feel bad every time you miss an event if you didn't come.
Or if you're not with your wife, or you say
Yeah.
you miss your wife and you're somewhere like,
Yeah, or
Handbag.
yeah, you're always with your wife, dude, and you know what?
yeah.
But
yeah.
again, on the flip side, there are so many toxic married people. You know, this person is married, but their life is still that of a single person. So you can go to your parents and say, no, Kivali TK, he's married, and they'll be comfortable. But TK is going to make you come back at home at 3 a.m. So what difference is it? So it's really about you learning, being able to make your own decision about a person, and not necessarily about who or what they do or whether or not they're married.
Yeah. You know, I understand it, and I guess we will all have our different experiences. I understand it. And it's funny enough, Abu Mama, they never highlighted this to me. Hey,
Yeah.
it's something that, and when I say that, I mean in that, you know, once you get married and when they welcome the bride, you go into a room where they dress you and they talk about what now happens as a new wife and things like that. It's something that my husband's family never stressed about. You know, I guess maybe they would talk to you around what they see in you and their values, and how they would want you to be their, like, a new wife according to their experiences, and that didn't really come up. But when we go to different weddings and things like that, a lot of people have different perspectives around friendship, you know. And for me, I've always I've had different views about it, and I understand where it's coming from, around having a single friend or aling single, and then you have a friend that is married, great, and then you're able to then form a friendship between your married friend and Lorna as a married couple.
Yeah.
But you still have friendships, it's a separate, and where you share your values with with those people, because I feel like there's different type of friends that you would have, but you have, whether married or not, friendships that are of value, where you share your principles, that I feel would, those type of friends would understand the level that you're in, or your place in your life right now, and they would still respect that. Because I think when our parents or elders were speaking, maybe they were only looking at it in one light.
Yeah, they were looking at these single people will influence you to be, I don't know, to start looking as well, because they are presumed to be
single
and
or encourage single life when I get it. I get where they're coming from, and great, but we cannot shy away from the fact that, like, for instance, one of my closest friends, when I got married, she wasn't married, and she respected my till today, respects where I am, and she's always saying thank you to you for allowing you to share me with the world, or with her, and giving her that respect, or affording her that space, that she's still in my life, and affording her that space in my life, because I guess it's not everybody or all husbands that would do that, but that's why she would always thank you and say, "Maybe thank you for kadima tenyoko," whatever the case is.
You know. I think in a nutshell, people assume that when you get married, you must remove certain friendships and all that. What changed for us is that we realized the value of people surrounding us, regardless of whether or not
married or not married. Yes.
So I just thought of something. Is that when we get married, we need to be vigilant of one another. Like, we need to be wary. If you at all in a relationship and about to get married, and your partner seems to be okay with you when you are being quickly removed out of your family and good friends, that is a problem. It's not. It can be masked as though it's a new environment.
Life,
now I'm married, but
it can be toxic.
It can be toxic because you'll be a miserable, lonely wife or husband. So yeah,
because when we get married, you're supposed to celebrate your wife, like I believe.
Yeah.
You're at a point where we are celebrating each other, we're understanding our weaknesses, our flaws, but it doesn't mean now. And I think that's where this abuse comes in.
Yes.
Now you're extracting somebody from her family or her friends.
That's dangerous.
Or now saying, okay, those people are negative for you. All of a sudden, because you're married. You can't hang out with your friends. And these friends played a critical role, or still play a critical role, and pour so much into you. Because now then it's now viewed as really something toxic, and that I don't sign up.
Yeah, because remember, when we met, my cousins, my friends, they molded this identity that you fell in love with.
Yeah. Yes.
You know?
Of you.
Yeah, of me. Now if you remove me from that,
what then happens?
You're robbing
to you?
me of my identity. I'm not saying if somebody's toxic and they've always been there and my high school friends, blah blah blah, you don't have to. If it's toxic, but there's some good people out there who want the best for us. They may be single, they may not have an interest in being married, but that doesn't make them a danger to your marriage.
Yeah.
So be careful of that. If you're about to get into marriage, don't move out.
Yeah, and what the point is here is that we understand what our elders are saying, but we need to be very open-minded and have a level of discernment,
Yeah.
a spirit of discernment when it comes to friendships,
Yes.
in marriage, out of marriage. It really, because if be it you are looking for a friend, or you always need to pray for your friend. You know, I never,
Everything.
I like,
Everyone.
yeah, I never used to do that before, and I'm very particular now.
Yeah.
And if God brings somebody in your life, in my life now, I ask God, "Okay, what is this person's role? What is this person coming to do in my life?
Yeah.
Is this person going to pour into me?" That's why I think I pray for that, and I guess that's why I've kept a limited number, because of me, not because of marriage, not because of us,
Yeah.
because of where I am and who I want to become.
Yeah, I think also in that very same breath, if at all TK was your friend, and after you've gotten married, you guys grew apart, it's okay. It means TK was there for a certain period of your life to serve a certain purpose, and they may have completed it, and it's their time to move on and your time to move on, because God is going to place somebody new, you know, to take you to the next step, you know.
Yes, I agree with that.
And that, hence, those are some of the things that will change, but we must understand that the change must follow some thought, and not just because I'm married.
Be thought through. I think the other point that we want to just touch on and finish off with is our first year of marriage. Our first year of marriage was extremely hard. It was hard, and it was beautiful at the same time. You know, we were filled with so much excitement, but we didn't know the depth of the transition, and which we touched on, and also the work that we had to do.
More work than anything.
We had to do
work.
We were not. I don't think we had adjusted our minds. Now the work begins, because marriage looks beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. Oh, lenyalo le monate.
We were still crazy giving picture.
But I don't think we had realized that the work begins, because it's mentioned in speech.
Yeah, they do say.
Oh no, the work now begins. You know, that you would then, when they say pray for your marriage, that's when it starts. Pray for your husband, that starts.
Pray for your wife.
Pray for your wife. That's when it starts. Because if we share a little bit about the first year of our marriage, my husband can share. Okay, what was the most difficult part? And I'll say what was the most difficult part in our first year.
Sheesh, there's actually a lot of
things, but choose one. Choose one.
I think it was the merging of finances, because it's difficult. It's not easy. You remember, you come from a setting where my salary is my salary, you know, and then I just do whatever. And then suddenly I need to answer to somebody, or not really answer to somebody, but I'm no longer
one man.
You know,
on your own finances. We need to account.
We need to account for everything. Not that my wife was always, how much do you have? I want money, but you know, for harmony in the house, everybody needs to know what's going on, because now you have plans that involve the both of you. You need to put in this, you need to put in that. And also, I think after we got married, I lost my job.
Immediately,
you know, I lost my job, and for a better part of the year, I didn't have income. You know, and it was one of the things that I had a little dip in depression in Yana for some time, which I only communicated later, you know, because for that time I wanted to solve things in my head alone, you know, and that made her experience of the first year of marriage quite difficult for me as well, you know. I could talk about a lot of things, baby.
I think that's okay.
It's fine.
Because- yes, that's fine. And I think the one thing that also was like a huge test and trial was our journey of pregnancy, which is going to be the next video, and I'm just touching on it quite quickly, because in our first year of marriage, you know, when you get married, you think it's gonna be easy to fall pregnant. You know, you have that picture in your mind, okay, once everything will be moving swiftly along, and to our surprise, that wasn't the case. It was difficult for us. I mean, you grow up suffering from endometriosis, and you're always told as a young girl that you'll be fine. You have functional cysts that are sitting there and you don't have to remove them. But now when you want to fall pregnant, it's not as easy as you would like. And in our first year of marriage, we experienced an ectopic pregnancy, you know, that we knew nothing about, and we've spoken a lot about it. And I think we want to go now into detail as to the level of the pain and what we actually went through. I don't think I've ever been as vulnerable about it. I've sort of touched on the surface, and I think my husband has. And I think in our next video, we'll go into it as to the transition, the pain, and the blessing, which is Pedal and Pop were making a record earlier, and where we are today. So, yeah, when you get married, a lot changes. A lot of reality hits you, but I think through the union and becoming one, you know, through finding our purpose, we have managed to just, you know, be victorious in a lot of the stuff that we've set to achieve individually and as a unit. So yeah,
we've also learned to depend on each other. That's one thing, you know, for the longest of time. And I know there's, you know, everybody's told to stand firm, be strong. But when you get married, you become one, and you realize there's a lot of things that I couldn't have done had it not been for you. You know, there's a lot of things for me. You know, there's that dependence, but you need to be willing to be vulnerable when you enter into marriage, because if you don't,
a lot is gonna change.
If you don't, you're gonna sit and suffer on your own. But then make another person's life miserable, because people just want to be happy.
So we'll stop there, and thank you so much for tuning in. That was a bit deep as well. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you, and we're gonna start talking about our pregnancy journey.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.